Ladies and gentlemen, in about 12 hours from now, we will be reporting first leads coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. This will be tomorrow morning. It's their first election in 10 years, and much has happened since then. Jammu and Kashmir's special status has been removed. They have gone from being a state to a union territory. But ladies and gentlemen, as we await results, there may be a twist in the tale. If exit poll predictions bear true, then Jammu and Kashmir is heading for a hung assembly with the National Conference Congress Alliance set to be the biggest formation, but still fall short of the majority mark. Now, in such a scenario, two sets of individuals will become very, very important tomorrow. First, the independents. Remember, 44% of the total number of candidates in these elections in Jammu and Kashmir were independents. And second, the 5 nominated members of the House. It is this second category, ladies and gentlemen, that is generating much confusion and conspiracy theories. Now, once the included nominated members are put in, the strength of the House will go up to 95. Remember, voting has happened for 90 seats, but 5 members who are nominated by the LG will increase the strength of the House from 90 to 95, which means what, ladies and gentlemen? It essentially means that the majority mark from 46 will go up to 48. Therefore, it will further put out the majority mark for the Congress and the NC alliance, right? The simple majority is 46, but if nominated members are counted, it is 48. Now, the 5 MLAs are supposed to be nominated by the LG as per Section 15 of the J&K Reorganisation Act 2019. This will include 2 women representatives, 2 representatives of the Kashmiri Pandit community, and 1 representative of a displaced migrant from POK, that is Pakistan Occupied Kashmir. Now, these MLAs will be nominated just before the first sitting of the House, and they will have voting rights just like any elected MLA. Now, if along with the PDP support, if NC and the Congress manage the numbers, then well, great for them. If they don't, then these 5 nominated members could put a spanner in the works. Given that these nominated MLAs are likely to vote in favor of any BJP-led political formation in the event of a trust vote, the NC and the PDP have already started voicing their suspicion, insisting that these nominations be done on the recommendations of the elected government and not the LG. Listen in.
डॉक्टर साहब, हाउ डू यू सी कि एलजी जो है ही इज नॉमिनेटिंग 5 MLAs. हाउ डू यू सी दिस स्टेप कमिंग इन?
देखिए, I have already many times said this. When the government is in power, it is for government's right to nominate and for LG to accept those nominations. As in Delhi, what happens? The government of India nominates in Rajya Sabha and sends to the president. And president approves that and they become members. There have 8 members in Rajya Sabha which are nominated. They're not nominated by the president. They're nominated by the government. Same should be here.
If this thing will happen, what will
we will go to Supreme Court. We are sure Supreme Court will uphold the Constitution of India.
Now, that is what the NC is saying. However, the BJP is insisting that nominating MLAs is the LG's prerogative. And given that Jammu and Kashmir now follows the Pondicherry model, he is bound to follow the MHA's advice and not that of the elected cabinet. Listen in.
जम्मू कश्मीर विधानसभा में जो 5 नॉमिनेटेड MLAs का जो प्रावधान है वो कानून के मुताबिक उस प्रक्रिया को अपनाते हुए पूरा होगा। जम्मू कश्मीर के संबंध में जो रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक्ट देश के संसद में पास हुआ, उस रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक्ट में जो जो नियम हैं, जो जो रूल ऑफ लॉ है, जो संवैधानिक नियम है, उनका पालन करके 5 विधायकों का नॉमिनेशन होगा।
बीजेपी के सारे हैं जो कैंडिडेट हैं। देखिए उसमें हमारा अशोक कौल जी है जो हमारे संगठन मंत्री है, रजनी सेठी है जो पहले हमारी स्टेट प्रेसिडेंट थी महिला मोर्चे की, और हमारी डॉक्टर फरीदा खान है जो मेरे साथ स्टेट सेक्रेटरी है, मैं वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हूँ, और सुनील सेठी है जो हमारा डिसिप्लिनरी कमेटी का चेयरमैन भी है और दूसरा पार्टी चीफ स्पोक्स पर्सन भी है, और जो 5वीं है जो हमारी रिफ्यूजी है वो रजनी गीता ठाकुर जो हमारी महिला मोर्चा की प्रेसिडेंट है। सब लोग हमारी ही, और ये मरकज हमारी है सरकार दिल्ली में, तो जिसकी सरकार है वही तो उसी के तो नाम जाएंगे।
So, question is, will Jammu and Kashmir deliver a decisive verdict tomorrow, or will the next chief minister be decided in backroom negotiations instead of the ballot box? That's a question I'm putting to my guest this evening. GL Raina is a former MLC and spokesperson of the BJP in Jammu and Kashmir. Joining us on the broadcast, Shashank Shekhar Jha is a lawyer at the Supreme Court. Tausif Shah is a senior leader of the PDP, and Sarfaraz Wani is a lawyer. Sarfaraz Wani, I'm going to come to you first. Where is the confusion? The law is very clear, the act is very clear, that the 5 nominated members will be nominated by the LG. Now, nowhere does it say in the act that these 5 members nominated by the LG will be done after consulting the state government or the elected government.
See, I want to make 2 points. First, to me, that this should not have been kept at the first instance. You should not have kept the nominated representatives for the assembly. If you seriously wanted to give representation to the Kashmiri Pandits or to the other categories, you could have reserved seats for them. You could have kept reserved constituencies where they could have fought, and they would have been reserved only for Pandits or only for the refugees, J&K refugees. Number second, if you now keep it, now you cannot keep 5 seats, which is about, I guess, 7 to 8% of the total members. Now you cannot keep such amount of seats at the discretion of the LG, who is the who himself is the nominated viceroy here. So you cannot keep it at his discretion. Now such a discretion should be used by the chief minister himself. Even if chief minister does some favoritism, but at the end of the day, he is the elected person. He is authorized to do that. Number second, now coming to the legal aspect of it. A lot of people were saying that it is, when we see paramateria to the Pondicherry, it is to be done this way. It is the discretion of the LG. But I'm saying, read the text itself. When we read the text, I was just checking, when we read it, when it comes to the Act of Pondicherry, it categorically says, let me read it for you. No, I am comparing the 2 acts. The the Section 3 of Government of Union Territories Act, which says that it is the central government which shall appoint. So the word used is the central government. And when it comes to the Reorganization Act, the usage is the Lieutenant Governor. So I am saying Lieutenant Governor has to exercise this power with the concurrence of the elected government. That is the chief minister. Now, if you
But
give
Mr.
such
Wani,
a discretion
the act doesn't say that.
No. The act
Mr.
says,
Wani, the act doesn't say it.
Let me read out
The
both
act
the acts.
says Lieutenant Governor has
Section
to
3
appoint these 5 MLAs. I understand the difference you are making.
The difference is every executive power of the state or the union territory is to be exercised through the lieutenant governor. So the term has to be LG. But I am saying the LG has to use it after concurrence, even though it is not expressly mentioned, but it is implied. Because what is the fun of the assembly then? When you give such a vast power, what is the fun of holding elections? Don't hold elections then. What is the fun when the
Shashank
5
Shekhar Jha,
nominated members of the LG who himself is nominated will decide the outcome of the government, then what is the fun of having elections here? So I'm saying when we use parameteria
No, how do we
of
know they
the
will discuss?
Act Section 3 of
Mr.
Government of
Wani,
Union
but who's
Territories
saying
Act.
that they will decide the outcome of the government? But no, here's the point. Why are we anticipating that they will decide the future of the government of Jammu and Kashmir? But on the legal point, let me get in another lawyer and then I'll get in the politicians. Shashank Shekhar Jha, just come in here. The argument being made by Mr. Wani is this. Don't compare Jammu and Kashmir to Pondicherry because Pondicherry's act clearly says that these 5 nominated members will be appointed by the central government. But in the case of the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act, it clearly says that they have to be appointed/nominated by the LG. Now, when they've mentioned the word LG and the LG's name here, it's implied according to him that the LG will have to act at the aid and advice of the elected government. Does he have a point there?
Namaste Shreya ji and my fellow panelists. Shreya ji, let's first applaud the Election Commission and the Modi government for successfully conducting the first elections in Jammu and Kashmir without much violence. This was the first time we have seen this thing. Now, as far the current scenario is concerned, we need to understand that the nomination of so India is divided into 3 parts: states, union territories with assemblies, and union territories without assemblies. There are 3 setups in India. As far as states are concerned, when India got independence, we saw that Indian Parliament got a member of parliaments reserved for those Anglo-Indians because Britishers were leaving and their ancestors were here. So Anglo-Indians were reserved in Parliament. Now, as far as union territories with assembly seats are concerned, Puducherry got independent in 1962. Jawaharlal Nehru government at that point of time got a new article in Indian Constitution, and then by that virtue, it got this power, Article 239A of the Indian Constitution, and allowed nomination of people in the Puducherry Assembly. Now, it was challenged by Congress party before Madras High Court and then Supreme Court. Honorable Supreme Court has categorically passed a verdict in favor of central government, saying that central government is not required to consult the state government when nominating MLAs. It was very clear as far as Supreme Court's judgment. Now, Puducherry has a very similar significance as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. Why? Because Puducherry was under colonial rule till 62, as in foreign rule till 62. Jammu Kashmir, part of Jammu Kashmir is still under power of Pakistan and China currently. Second comparison between two union territories are these both are union territories with a chief minister and an assembly. So we need to understand, and I disagree with my fellow lawyer here, is that a governor is very different from an LG. LG is a direct representative of union government, which is there to support and to administer the government. Just 1 second, Shreyaji, 1 second. One important aspect we need to understand: why these 5 members are nominated there. My fellow lawyer was saying that we can keep a separate, we can reserve those seats and let those people contest there. Who will contest? In 1990s, we have seen that there was exodus and genocide of Kashmiri Hindu population. In Maharashtra state of Indian government, Indian Union territory, Indian Union, in Maharashtra, there is a reservation for these Kashmiri Pandits. So why not keep those nominated seats for these Kashmiri Pandits? And then what about women? How many women representation we do have in Kashmir Assembly? And last part, the Pakistan occupied Kashmir is an illegal occupation as cleared by Honorable Home Minister in Parliament itself. And they said that they want to...
That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, that's not the point. The point is who has a say in the appointment of these 5 nominated members. Tausif Shah, you are a leader of the PDP. You have already said you are going to back the National Conference and the Congress if it is required, and by the looks of it, it will be required. फिर ये 5 nominated MLAs से डर क्यों लग रहा है आप लोगों को? आप ये क्यों कह रहे हैं that the BJP will use these 5 nominated members and the LG will use these 5 nominated members to ensure that the government that the people of Jammu and Kashmir have elected will not rule the union territory? ऐसा डर आप लोगों को कहाँ से आया? क्यों आया?
Raji, and to all the fellow panelists, I would just like to begin with that we treat it as in the political arena, whatever party you speak about, we treat it as a grave misconduct. Why do we treat it as a grave misconduct? This is, we have been through the elections. The people have voted. So what did they vote then for? Now, for example, if you take, for example, these are the 5 MLAs who have been given full powers of the elected ones. So now tell me one thing. Now, somehow, if they reach the magical number and these 5 nominated MLAs would be I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm just giving an example. For example, they have, for example, 40 seats. Somehow जोड़ तोड़ के 40 सीटें बराबर कर लेते हैं. So now these 5 MLAs bringing into the consideration, they'll form the government. So would you mean that this would be the people's verdict? No, this is not the people's verdict. This is BJP verdict. Like right now, their state secretary said that all the 5 people belong to BJP. So then what is the fun? They are exactly repeating 1967, the Mir Qasim's time, when Bakshi Ghulam Ahmad's time, when 9 people used to submit the nomination forms for the elections, and 9 of 9 them were rejected, and one was said कि ये ठीक है, यही MLA बन गया without any election. So now tell me one thing, would this be justice to the people of Jammu and Kashmir? Would this be justice to the vote? Would this be justice to the ballot? So what I suggest is them, let them stop this election right now. The ballot boxes are yet closed. Let them directly appoint 90 people. What is the fun? We have been seeing this since last 10 years. We have seen their draconian laws. These are the draconian laws. These are the draconian laws.
GL Rena come in. GL Rena, you are spokesperson of the BJP. 1 minute. Let GL Rena come in. GL Rena ji.
Sure.
Essentially, what the PDP is saying is that आप लोगों ने ballot boxes खुलने से पहले ही +5 कर दिया है बीजेपी के लिए.
Shreya ji, what they are saying is exactly what they are, since they stand exposed, they are crying foul because of that. They know that people have rejected them. They know that when the voting percentage has been so high, their habit was electing an MP with 35,000 votes out of 16 lakh voters. So that habit cannot be possible now. So that is one. Second, this was not unknown to them. This act, Reorganization Act, was passed in 2019. Section 13 of the act was there before elections. Other nominations were there before, and they have challenged Reorganization Act with 37, Article 370 and 35A. What did the Supreme Court say? So the problem with is them, their U-turn, they have known the pulse of the people have rejected them, they want to raise question mark, the way they were raising about the EVMs sometimes, about so many things. As my lawyer friend Jha Sahab said, Puducherry model is there in the section 13 of the Reorganization Act. It is clearly mentioned there since 2019. What were they doing there? Why did not they go to courts first? Then they were saying, unless 370 comes, we will not fight elections. Then they said, no, unless statehood will be there, we will not fight elections. The basic problem is, just remember how was 1952 election. All the 75 people were elected unopposed. They both were together, NC, PDP and Congress were together at that time. And that was called Constitution Assembly of Kashmir. All opposition leaders were rejected, their papers were rejected on whimsical grounds that your name is Ramesh, you have written RO, it must have been RA. This was the basis of rejection. And there was a white paper in 1984. Where is that white paper? Just ask them. So the basic problem is that they know that verdict is against them. They know that they will not come to power. So just want to raise questions about the process so that they can justify their defeat.
Okay, Tausif, you're questioning the process. According to the BJP spokesperson, you're questioning the process because you know you're losing. Now, exit polls seem to be saying something different. They seem to be suggesting that the NC and the Congress will be the single largest formation, but they will not. But they will not probably have the numbers to form a government.
Now let me reply to my BJP, and this is a real joke. This is a real joke what he was speaking, a real joke really, I think. You know, on the number 4, they have nominated Mr. Ashok Kohl. He is the General Secretary of the BJP and he is the candidate from their Habakadal seat. So who has accepted the defeat? They or us? They have already nominated the person who is right standing in the election, and ballot boxes are closed. They have accepted that he's losing. Not losing, he has lost. Because he has been nominated. That means they have accepted the defeat. Now just tell him what jokes is he making. Is this a real joke they are making to us, to the people of Jammu and Kashmir? Now the second thing is there. Now he is telling me that this is the Reorganization Act. Yes, this is the Reorganization Act, we accept. But the Reorganization Act is that these members were to be nominated on the 8th, not on the 7th. What was so itni jaldi kya thi nominate karne ki? Have they, this proves that they have really accepted their defeat. They have really accepted their defeat. They should accept.
No, so I just want to say one thing here. They will be nominated after the first sitting of the House. So they technically have to be nominated after the first sitting of the House. But the fact is, to our friend from the BJP, you already... Exactly. Mr. Raina, come in here. The PDP spokesperson is not wrong.
Please.
Your own people from the BJP have come on camera and even told us the names of all the 5 nominated MLAs.
Is that from the official office of BJP? Is that list from there? From the office of the BJP authenticated list? One, that is a WhatsApp message. Please, I officially and with the responsibility reject that. One. So maybe our friend has some information different. But 2 members of these, they were always nominated by state governor before 2019 also. All those members who were nominated at that time were office bearers of these parties who nominated them, who were in the power. Who was Zubayda Salaria, all they were all parties nominees and their office bearers. Then it was okay because it belonged to them. Now it is not okay because BJP is doing this.
Good point.
That is one.
Good point. Mr. Tausif Shah, respond to that. Obviously, if you are in power, you will make the nominations. You don't expect the BJP to nominate PDP members and National Congress members, right? It's obvious.
This is exactly the same in the Union Territory. We had member legislative councils.
No, I am talking about the MLAs. I am talking about MLAs nominated. Who was Anjum Pasli?
I'm replying to you. I'm replying to you. Just give me a moment. I'm replying to you.
And was not she office
I'm coming back.
Gentlemen, I'm out of time. Gentlemen, I'm out of time. I know there is a lot you guys want to say. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact is that 8, sir, we are done. Time khatam. Aapne itna ek dusre se bahas mein hi sara time khatam kar diya instead of making your point. So I'll just have to wrap it there, ladies and gentlemen. The fact is that 8 a.m. is when the ballot boxes open tomorrow. We will be live on the story. Haryana is more or less clear. According to exit polls, the Congress is taking it. Jammu and Kashmir, according to exit polls, is throwing up a hung house where these 5 nominated MLAs and the fight over who gets to nominate them, the LG and the centre or the elected government, that will become even more interesting today. Today was just, as they say, a trailer. Asli picture abhi kal baki hai. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Shreya Upadhyay joining you at the top of 9 with all the day's top stories. For the moment, it's good night and thank you from me.